So Karl, this one goes up on a Friday. Does that mean it's a drinking video?
No, because I'm still fucking hungover, mate. According to director Rennie Harlin, the part of Deep Blue Sea that got the biggest reaction from test audience was the moment where Samuel L. Jackson is inexplicably killed by a genetically engineered super shark indoors. As it turns out, this was done deliberately, specifically to keep us, the audience, guessing about who the shark would chow down on next.
So where does this story begin?
It begins with Harlin apparently approaching his producers and telling them, look, only hire relatively unknown actors for this movie, because if an audience goes to see a movie with a big name actor in it about sharks, they're going to assume that that actor's going to survive all the way to the end.
Yeah, that does ruin some films when the main character is so famous they've got plot armor for it.
Yeah, so if you watch any movie with Tom Cruise in it, you know Tom Cruise is not going to die. Yeah. So the exceptions to the rule being obviously Sean Bean, the walking spoiler himself. But like, if you watch any film that's got a relatively big an actor they put on the poster, you fairly say that character's not going to die. They're not going to spend all that money to kill that person off.
Yeah, that's why Psycho caused such an uproar.
People don't know, in Psycho, like the famous shower murder scene, the film was advertised as starring Janet Leigh, was a massive actress at the time, and they kill her off like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, the movie's not about her. She's there to facilitate, because the first half of the film is about her.
Yeah, and then she just gets killed out of nowhere.
And then the story shifts over to Norman.
Yeah, and that's why it was so shocking. And to compare, the thinnest possible line to be drawn between Alfred Hitchcock's magnum opus and Deep Blue Sea, used a similar concept, but it wasn't inspired by Psycho. It was inspired by the film Alien.
So why did Alien inspire Deep Blue Sea?
According to Harlin, he was inspired by the fact that in Alien, they kill off basically the best known actors who were in the movie almost immediately. Like John Hurt dies pretty much straight away. He's like the guy who gets his chest exploded by the alien. Then Tom Skerritt dies by when an alien literally leaps out of nowhere and bites his dick off. And his thinking there is that creates so much tension, because if the alien can kill who you presume is the main character, how the hell are these other chuckle fucks in the movie going to fare against it? And he thought of the simple thing, okay, I'm going to hire Samuel L. fucking Jackson and put him in my movie, but I'm going to kill him out of nowhere with a giant super shark. It's so out of nowhere, it's so fast. Because his character dies mid-heroic speech. What filmmaker has the balls to do that? Can you imagine in Pulp Fiction, halfway through, Ezekiel 2, whatever the fuck it is, through that, if you just get shot in the back of the head? So Brad, in that vein, what film do you think will be most improved by a character being inexplicably killed by a shark midway through a rousing speech?
Any courtroom scene.
Oh my God, Miracle on 34th Street. That bit where he's talking about, yes, Kris Kringle embodies Santa Claus, and then Sharknado, we don't know, is actually happening right outside, just flies through the window and takes him out.
It's the bit where the little girl walks up to them, starts to reach up to put the note on, and the shark comes and takes her hand off.
I'm thinking of Independence Day. When he's talking about, this is our independent, he's there, and then suddenly, just a shark flies in and just takes him. But I'm imagining it being it comes along, it's swimming on land, goes, nyom. Just and all the people are there yeah! Folks at home, if you remember the movie, you may recall that, the film goes out of its way to establish that Jackson's character is a swaggering, shark-stomping badass. And as well, I think this is my favourite part, he said, I deliberately went out of my way to make sure that Samuel L. Jackson was killed by that shark in an area where a shark couldn't ever logically appear, indoors. The idea there is if it can kill Samuel L. Jackson, it can kill anyone. And also, if it can kill him indoors, nowhere is safe. And that movie's great, because there's a scene in it where LL Cool J gets attacked by a shark in a kitchen, and he has to climb into an oven. And he has a great line where he goes, you're not going to fucking kill me in my own oven, because LL Cool J's character is like a chef. And he's just a chef, and he gets attacked by a shark. What did he do? Can we just for a moment as well appreciate the idea of building tension with shark? Because that's the idea behind killing Samuel L. Jackson indoors with a shark. It's if it got Samuel L. Jackson, there could be a shark anywhere. There could even be a shark in the kitchen. So good. I want more films to just randomly start just like killing off the main character out of fucking nowhere. I want to see like, a Mission Impossible movie where Tom Cruise's character steps on a landmine in the first 5 minutes. I want, like, what film do you want to see? Just like the main character just out of nowhere get fucking just rubbed out.
Well, the best ones would be the ones where the film is named after the character. Like Rocky. Rocky just gets hit by a car on his way to his big fight.
And it has to be something, it can't be like plot related, it has to be completely out of fucking nowhere. Like I said, I want Rocky getting hit by a car randomly halfway through the movie. Getting back on topic, the gambit of establishing in Deep Blue Sea that any character could be killed at any time, anywhere, by a shark may have paid off just a little too well.
So why is that?
Because in the initial cut of the movie, the lady scientist, played by Saffron Burrows, actually survives. Like, the Saffron Burrows, she managed to swim to safety with Thomas Jane, but test audiences felt that she was the film's villain because she's directly responsible for the creation of the genetically engineered super smart sharks, and as a result is responsible for all the deaths they cause. And according to the director, some people felt so strongly about this on comment cards asking how they could improve the movie, they simply wrote, "Kill the bitch." So what they did is they just used CGI to put sharks in and just had her being torn apart by the sharks. They used what was initially footage of her swimming to safety was just replaced by footage of her world turning to shark, and then they just digitally erased her from all the other shots. The idea that they turned footage of her surviving, just CGI'd a bunch of sharks in and killed her. As an aside, Brad, do you recall any of the advertising for Deep Blue Sea? Like the advertising for it was Jaws with O-levels. Because the sharks in the movie are super smart, and I've always wondered, why did you need to make the shark so smart? Why?
Well, this is the idea of escalating things. Like, surely someone looked at Jaws and went, I want to make a shark film, but they've done a good shark film.
Yeah.
So how about make a better shark
It can never be topped. Jaws can never be topped in terms of a shark
But that's why we have all these ridiculous Sharknado, Ghost Shark, three-headed shark. It's people trying to up it.
But the reason it was so scary is because it's such a simple, it's a single shark. Yeah. And that's why movies like that, the reason they're so scary is because it's just one creature. And adding more doesn't make it scary. It's like the inverse law of ninjutsu on display. One-on-one, a ninja will kick your ass, but the more ninjas you have, the less skilled they become. Which is why you always have in movies, like, if it's a one-on-one fight with a bad guy, this is going to be like a 10-minute long knockdown, drag-out brawl. But when the hero, to get to the bad guy, every single one of his men just gets immediately taken out with one punch. So with that in mind, Brad, we're going to talk for a minute about this. This is my channel, because I watched The Raid yesterday, and I want to talk about how much tougher than every other bad guy Mad Dog is. Because holy balls, have you seen The Raid at all?
I haven't, no.
Well, go watch The Raid for a start, so you can put the clips in this fucking bit. But, the movie's basically we got this one guy is a, ultimo badass. He's like a SWAT team or something like that. They get ambushed in a giant building, and the guy says, okay, everyone in this building, kill these guys, and you get a load of money. And this one hero cop goes all the way through he beats up fucking everybody, and then right at the end of the movie they have Mad Dog. This crazy ass motherfucker, and he takes two people and they beat him up for 10 minutes. Not even kidding. It's a straight 10-minute fight scene and just kicking the ever-loving shit out of this guy. And then in the second movie, The Raid 2, they do it again with the main bad guy, where the same hero character goes all the way through his entire fucking organisation. And they have a 15-minute long fight scene in a kitchen where he literally throws everything but the kitchen sink at him. It's fucking, I think in that scene, he gets his head smashed into the wall 14 times and keeps getting back up. To close off with a nice bonus fact, did you know why the director chose LL Cool J's character as the one that was going to survive alongside Thomas Jane?
Why? Because
his reason that, people love LL Cool J, so he should survive, which is a direct reference to his nickname, LL Cool J, which stands for Ladies Love Cool James. Yeah! As well, that's the greatest fucking rap name ever, innit? Fucking LL Cool J, Ladies Love Cool James. Man, that's awesome. So today we've talked about a shark movie, and I think it's safe to say that all shark movies today, however ridiculous, all owe their origins to Jaws. And I am a big fan of the idea that we started with Jaws, which is just a movie about 3 men on a boat hunting a shark, and we ended at Sharknado, where it's just the heavens just rain sharks. And I want to know, Brad, what film do you want to get a similar treatment where people are like, okay, we love this idea, let's just keep making it more ridiculous?
Well, this is the joke they made in 22 Jump Street, isn't it?
Yeah, right at the end. Yeah. I'm upset they were... do you ever hear the idea for what they were going to do with like the next 23 Jump Street film? No. They were going to make all those canon and turn it into a backdoor reboot of Men in Black. And they scrapped it to make a generic, reboot with Chris Hemsworth. And I'm really upset about that because I just want more Ice Cube getting pissed off in those movies. Because he has, some of the funniest lines in recent movie history can be directly credited to Ice Cube in those movies. Because, the line that always gets me is just Korean Jesus. What? Just Korean Jesus hasn't got time for your bullshit. He's busy with Korean shit. And I am so pissed off because the ending to that film is so good. And the fact they were trying to make them canon and figure out a way to put them all into the next movie and then scrapped it to make a shitty fucking reboot of Men in Black is really annoying to me. So we're going to move past that and I'm going to make a suggestion of Bring It On.
Bring It On. Is in the dance film?
That's the one about the cheerleaders. And it's the cheerleader tryouts where they all try and, it's to win a trophy or something. But I want it to become that joke in Guardians of the Galaxy where they have the dance-off to save the universe. I want Bring It On sequels to eventually be galactic fucking dance-offs to save planets. The joke from Rick and Morty show us what you've got. I want that as a movie. Another one that I want to see, even though it's already halfway there, is Air Bud. So we've discussed the Air Bud cinematic. If people don't know, Air Bud fucking goes places. It's a simple, albeit stupid idea. A dog learns, is it basketball or football it learns to play first?
It starts with basketball.
Okay, so it's a dog learns to play basketball, and by the 11th one, it's dogs who know how to do wrestling moves, and they're going into space and got superpowers. I want to see it they become gods. I want to see Infinity War, but it's just dogs. The Air Bud cinematic ends with just dogs are deific beings. So I want the 30th sequel to just establish that Air Bud is an immortal god creature. And he's just and he's bored with the plight of humans. He just becomes Dr. Manhattan in dog form. What it is, it's like Mass Effect. And the first one, there's a planet you go to, and it's just got this mysterious orb on it. And I never figured out what this is for. Let me know in the comments. It was just one planet with this mysterious sex orb, and you never told what it does. I imagine it like that. I want a movie that's like Alien. And then you see them, they go to a distant planet, and they get there, and there's just an altar that just has the word Air Bud written on it. And that's the start of it. And you find out Air Bud is the engineers in fucking the Alien universe, where he's just the god and he created all of mankind.
I want a film where a bunch of humans are in a space shuttle in space, and they go through a wormhole and crash land on a planet, and it's populated by anthropomorphic dogs. And then at the end of it, the guy ends up on a beach, and by a huge statue of Air Bud, and he's like, no! Damn you all to hell!
This is such a good. They should do this in every movie. Every movie should just get dumb at some point. There's all we basically get in there with these Sharknado movies, but I want the Sharknado treatment on every good idea. I want Hollywood to just fold in on itself, trying to suck its own dick, trying to top itself.